It's been just about 7 days since Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the most respected actors of our time, was found in his Greenwich Village apartment, a syringe still in his arm and packets of heroin nearby. Although tests have yet to conclusively determine if he died of an overdose or adulterated heroin, Hoffman had spoken openly of his struggles with addiction. Here he is with 60 Minutes correspondent Steve Croft.
And why did you decide to stop?
You panicked. It was, I was 22 and I got panicked for my life. It really was. It was just that.
3 people have been arraigned on drug charges, including one accused of felony possession of heroin with intent to sell, but their lawyers insist they had nothing to do with Hoffman's death. Friday, fellow actors from Broadway and Hollywood attended a private funeral service here in New York. While all around the country, admirers of Hoffman's work continue to try to make sense of their loss. You can count out David Edelstein among them.
1 week ago, Philip Seymour Hoffman was found dead in his New York apartment. Many of us are still grieving, still cursing, still asking why, though the obvious answer is he was a heroin addict. He'd apparently been clean and sober 23 years, started drinking again at a 2012 rap party, and then, as addicts say, the dragon got him and didn't let go. But there might be other answers, other ways to look at his tragic death at age 46 in light of what made him one of our greatest actors. I got an inkling when I met him for a newspaper interview in 2006, after the release of Capote.
And he said to me, but I just want to make sure it's not one of those problem novels.
The movie in which a big guy with a big head and a big croaky voice
Well, I don't think you actually need to be honest.
made you think he was a little guy with a little head and a high, squeaky voice.
I'm not nearly that controversial.
But there was something beyond Olympian mimicry at work.
He's given me absolutely everything.
Hoffman said he'd fought with the director in the editing room to show Truman Capote in the most unflattering light possible.
When I think how good my book can be, I can hardly breathe.
Now, 99% of actors fight to come off more, not less likable. That's their vanity. Hoffman's vanity was a kind of anti-vanity. He homed in on the grotesque. He thought you'd have more empathy for people who were reprehensible because down deep, he said, we all know how flawed we are. That anti-vanity emboldened him. It made him so brave. Regard his riveting smugness.
You look gorgeous, as always.
As a rich boy in the talented Mr. Ripley. See his sweaty desperation as an addict in the vicious thriller Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Promises were made.
Not by me.
I've been with the company.
Marvel at
24
his
years.
defiant
I was supposed to be
disheveledness
great for 15.
as a spy who knows he's better than anyone else in Charlie Wilson's war.
I've spent the past 3 years learning Finnish, which would come in handy here in Virginia, and I'm never ever sick at sea.
Watch how he captures a possibly pedophile priest's obscene ease with himself in doubt.
When you are lost, you are not alone.
So many brilliant turns.
Wendy, the man's got dementia.
Though my favorite is his least grotesque, a son coping with a demented dad in The Savages.
The landscaping, the neighborhoods of care, they're not for the residents, they're for the relatives. People like you and me who don't want to admit to what's really going on here.
Which is what, John?
People are dying, Wendy.
Hoffman was both adored and feared. Off screen, he was funny, curious, generous, supportive, BS-free. In the throes of work, he could be brooding and unapproachable. My guess is he was pretty hard on himself. Perhaps that made him a good candidate for addiction and the dragon that would deliver oblivion. Perhaps. Now we curse that dragon, but give thanks that for so long, Philip Seymour Hoffman used his demons to help us see with such incredible vividness our own.